Good morning, everyone, to the Observability Clinic. This is Radek, and I'm Senior Manager at Dynatrace. You might wonder why Andy is not here with me today. Well, he's preparing for his vacation, and we all know he's focused on platform engineering. So he enabled me to actually do the self-service this time with Observability Clinic. This time then, I welcome you to the topic of how to efficiently upgrade from managed to SaaS. That's a follow-up session from the recording we had not so long time ago about the app spotlight of the SaaS Upgrade Assistant. This time, I would like to deep dive in that tool, and together with Remote Configuration Manager for OneAgent migration, I would like to showcase how to do the transition from managed to SaaS very efficiently, and that's no longer a mystery to you. Before I start, I'll recap and set the stage to put the whole experience of this presentation in a context. So, as you might know, we have a SaaS upgrade process. So, a framework that we've learned over learning about this for a couple of last years. It's divided into 3 stages of plan, upgrade, and run. Each of these contains 3 steps. Today, I would like to focus only on the middle step of the execution part of the upgrade process. So how to move the configuration and OneAgent. And the simplest way how to actually think about this is, at first, migrate the configuration, everything that is possible in the first batch. The second step is to migrate OneAgents, and then eventually step back to migrate the leftover configuration. So sometimes it may happen like dashboards or management zones or some naming rules might depend on OneAgent's entities or service entities that are not yet present in your environment. That's why you can repeat the configuration import by filling this gap. And then the third step that you do usually afterwards is that you migrate the integrations, ActiveGate, active monitoring, extensions, alerting services like ServiceNow or Slack or any other that you use. So the tools that we provide here and assist you with those steps is SaaS Upgrade Assistant for the migrating configuration and the well-known Remote Configuration Management for migrating the OneAgents. I tell you well-known because that already existed in your environments at the deployment status. So that's the tool that you might have already used to reconfigure your OneAgents in bulk to change network zones or host groups or apply some tagging rules. This time we've extended that functionality to modify communication settings so you can easily select your OneAgents, tell them, hey, this is your new environment, this is the token. So they start reporting the data to your target SaaS environment. I'll show you that in the details, of course. In a few words about the tools. So SaaS Upgrade Assistant is first aimed to the cluster administrators who are assigned a task of replicating their configuration from their managed environment into SaaS environment. That will enable them to use almost one-click experience to export and import the configuration, track the progress of this procedure, browse the configuration, and eventually update some of these. And all in all, reduce the complexity and the time so they can benefit and leverage that time that they would normally spend on manual configuration on the innovation part, and easier onboarding to adopt new Grail features. Second tool that I'm going to show you today is the remote configuration management, especially the new functionality of modifying the configuration, modifying the communication setting. So that's also for cluster administrator, but also for the application owners to enable autonomous approach to this. So think about this, that each team and that is responsible for monitoring of their applications and services is given additional permission to repoint their OneAgents to the target environment in a feasible time for them. So what do they get in that functionality? Similar things. So they could create a batches up to 1,000 OneAgents to repoint them from one environment to another in one step. That will be a guided approach to safely reconfigure them in order without risking actually they will not be able to connect, and all in all removing the loss of the data. There is a live connection validation and a visual representation of the status. Well, some say that words are not enough, and it's always better to show a picture. In our case, that will be a live demo that we'll go to. So let me switch at first to our documentation page. In case you'll be lost, you'll want to follow up. Remember, within the Managed Docs, there is Upgrade to SaaS section where you can read about everything and how the process end-to-end looks like. Like I said, we'll focus on the execution part. And the first step that we need to do is to migrate the configuration. At first, let me show you how the setup looks like that I've prepared for you. Let's change the time frame for today. Yeah, so here I have prepared 3 hosts. Each of the hosts contains an Nginx web application. To make it more realistic, I've also created management zones for each of the application, and for one of the application, a backend monitoring, so the infrastructure for this. Additionally, I have set up the naming rules for our web applications. So here you see that there are 3 web applications configured for each of the IPs. And like I said, in the preferences, management zones, configured for the web app and for the entity. So I also wanted to show you how this given configuration is migrated, that is bind to an entity ID, and also break the myth that, hey, what's going to happen in my new target SaaS environment when I have a configuration dependent on a given host ID? Will that change or not? How this will look like? All right, so once we explored the environment, now we're going to migrate. Let me go to the cluster management console. That's our first step. To export the configuration, we'll go to environments. My environment is called Ansible. And what we need just to do is to click export the configuration. So I'll export the configuration. I'll store it on my PC. And the next thing that we need to do, obviously, we need to go to our SaaS environment. In my case, that's a demo dev environment of ZRK. And what I did simply just before the demo I prepared to you, I went to the hub. I've searched for SaaS Upgrade Assistant that is available in your SaaS environments. I just clicked and installed. Obviously, to save the time, I already did that step, so I'll open the application, and what we want to do, of course, start the upgrade. So nothing's left here than just uploading the data. So I'll choose the configuration file that we've just exported. Right, that's the one just from the moment. We'll go here and let me browse through the configuration before we start in order to show you that indeed there are the configurations that I've created here. So that's the web app that we have created. Also management zones probably would be those that I created, right? Nginx backend, Nginx 3, exactly those that you have seen just in the managed environment. And obviously some dashboards, the one and the second one, I'll tell that about that. What are the differences between those two? So what we now need to do is to start, we need to create the token. So I'm creating the token, saving, and that allows me to deploy all the configurations at a time. Let's run it and wait a few seconds until the import is done. So what you have observed until now, that I don't need anything, any other tool to install, to learn, just use what Dynatrace already provides, right? So cluster management console, the app from the hub, and almost like any other Dynatrace experience, I'm followed by the button what to click. So this will take us a few seconds. In the meantime, let me explore you what were these two dashboards. The first one that you've seen here, all right? Go there in the moment, is created by the admin user, and the other I have cloned for another user here, Radoslaw Szulgo. Why this is a challenge, we'll come back to this. Right, so that's exactly the dashboard here. Let's go back to see our progress here. Close this tab already. And that should be about to finish. Normally, probably during this time, I would ask Andy what he thinks and what are his clever insights about that. Unfortunately, that's not possible today, but we'll have plenty of things to ask. Nevertheless, if you have questions, you can leave them under the video or on our SaaS Upgrade forum in our community. Right, so we are done. Or I would say we are almost done. So 97% of our configurations were successfully imported right out the way, and some of them were skipped. So let's review what has happened. So here I'll be interested in actually seeing successful or failed ones. Here I see some log rules that has failed. Let's see what happened. And here I can see that indeed some configurations were not done. And here that's a built-in log monitoring rule that I don't need to replicate because it's already built in. So the default ones that were provided. So I can ignore those. And the other that has failed is a RAM JavaScript version. Okay, and this one failed because there's no custom JavaScript version. So I have created my own JavaScript version on the managed side. A different version is available in my target SaaS environment. So again, I can skip that issue. But as you see, SaaS Upgrade Assistant shows clearly what configurations and why have failed. No need to go through complicated logs or files. Everything is there at hand. What we want to do now. First of all, I would like to update my dashboards. Let me reset this and go to dashboard. Here are my two environments. Let's verify how they look like in our SaaS environment. That will be here, obviously. Let me duplicate this. And we'll open Dashboards Classic. And surprisingly, I'm not seeing my Nginx dashboard here. Why it is so? Because actually my user here is based on the email address rsocmay@praxislabs.com. And in the app, we can see that the owner is Radoslaw Szulgo. So obviously that's not the same user. If we want to update that easily, we can use the bulk edit, and we can choose that we want to update dashboard owners, select the value of, say, admin user, and that's the email address, praxislabs.com. That's the user that we want to update. So previewing the changes, indeed, that's what I want to do. I'm saving this one. And same I want to do for Radoslaw Szulgo, and also add this user to another one. So let me update these. And actually include these two configurations into the deploy. So let me exclude all. I want to just import these two. Right. And why it's 5. Let me again disable these two. 1, 2. And let's run quickly just these configurations. And let's see. Let me refresh the page. And indeed, these are two dashboards. Let me open this one. All right. I have the dashboard. Cool. Now, the problem is that I'm not seeing the data. Obviously, I'm not seeing the data because I have not migrated OneAgents yet. And that's what we'll do in the second step I mentioned in the beginning. So how we'll do this, we'll go to the environment where we had our OneAgents, and we'll go to the deployment status. Here I can see my three environments. Let me maybe just move these two. OneAgents, what I want to do, I want to modify communication settings. And let's run. Now I'm asked about certain fields inputs. So first is environment ID. The environment ID is the one we get as a prefix from the URL, as easy as that. As you see, it automatically has generated me the communication address. And now I need the tenant token. What's the tenant token? This is the tip that we have here. We can just copy this and include the token. Token is a token that we need to generate in our SaaS environment. So we need to go to the tokens here. And exactly as guided there, we need to generate the new token. Let's call it my migration token. And here we need to search for the PaaS integration installer download. That's the token that allows the OneAgent or our tool to actually get the new download, new tokens, and register in the SaaS environment. So once we create that token, we copy this and execute the curl here. I have provided one already. So that's how it will look like. Let me just bring the screen to you. And that's how it will look like. We'll execute this. And what we need to copy is the tenant token here, right? So copy this and copy this one, paste this here, and eventually we can pass some proxy if we have. Just that is the proxy string. So if you have an authentication, you'll probably use like user pass and your proxy.host.com as a host. Let me type some invalid ones so you can see that actually when I proceed and I want to test the connection, will validate that actually those two OneAgents will fail to connect because obviously that proxy settings are wrong. So that prevents you to go further until we make sure it's able to connect. Let me remove it, test the connection, wait a few seconds, and indeed, I can see 2 out of 2 OneAgents connected successfully to the target SaaS environment. What I want to go is to go next, of course, make sure indeed that's what I want to do. Yes, I do. And apply the remote configuration job. As easy as this one. That should really take us just few seconds, maybe a minute, until those OneAgents will be switched. I'll show you that, yes, these are continuously reporting the data. Let us switch to the SaaS part, and let's see on the deployment status if those OneAgents already connected and they're reporting the data. During this is happening, what you need also to know is that OneAgent will restart automatically. So it can report and gather logs automatically and send it to the target SaaS environment. It will start, of course, to report process infrastructure related metrics automatically to the SaaS environment. But you'll also need to remember to restart the monitored processes to re-enable deep monitoring and start reporting the data to SaaS. You have by default 2 hours to restart your processes. During that time, you'll see process-related metrics on your managed environment and infrastructure-related on your SaaS environment. After 2 hours, the monitoring will be stopped there. But if that's a concern, contact with our Dynatrace One team, and we're happy to extend that timeout for you. All right, let's see if OneAgent already connected. Indeed, both are visible in our SaaS environment. Let's go here and see if metrics start up here. Indeed. So I'm really curious to actually see how my dashboard looks like now. And that's great. So we already see the dashboard correctly sees the data. That's what we wanted to achieve. Let me browse through the demo apps here to refresh and collect the data. Now, what we were instructed to do so is we need to restart our application. So we also see RAM monitoring. So if I would go to my SaaS environment and go to web, I would like to see also the RAM reported. I see 3 applications here because we've imported the configuration of them, but we don't see the data yet. We need to restart those Nginx processes. So let's pretend now I'm an application owner. These are my 3 hosts. So restarting the Nginx, restarting the second Nginx. I don't remember which one is which, so let me restart all 3 and see if we'll be able to see the data. So let me refresh some pages here of the Nginx, see if it works. I should see in a while that RAM beacons already should appear in my app, and I should see the data. Right, so you see already processing new data. We'll see that in a moment. What I also want to show you is another configuration. Now, remember, we've set some management zones built on the entity, this one, and how this will work. Let's see then. Let's go to our dashboards. And we have our Nginx backend. Right. What we've based was that given host ID. Let's see if that is the case here as well. So we'll go to hosts. Actually, all hosts. And that was D69. Okay, so these 2 are different ones, meaning actually we've left the host that we have not migrated yet. That's why we don't see it on the dashboard yet. Fair enough. And this leads me to show you yet another example of the usage. Let's pretend that actually host was managed by a different team that you want to enable to use um, the, the remote reconfiguration. So let's then jump to the deployment status. By the way, you see that these two hosts are no longer monitored, and that's correct because these two are already monitored by your SaaS environment. And this host is indeed the one that we've set the management zone, right? So to confirm, let's switch the management zone. Indeed, that's the one. Right. Right now, I'm logged in as an admin. So as a cluster admin, I have permissions to execute this. To illustrate a different behavior, I'll log in as the other user. To go to deployment status. And I want to migrate this one. So as you see, I can't execute the modify communication setting. Why? Because I don't have IAM policy deployment OneAgent's communication settings right. That's what needs to be assigned by my cluster administrator. And that's what we'll do. So let's log in again. Let's log in as a cluster admin. And what we need to do, we need to go to user authentication. We want to go to password policy and create, no password policy, policy management, and create a policy, OneAgent migration. And the policy statement is exactly as I was instructed. So we want to allow this policy. Let's save it. And we have a group name that actually I would like to tell that in that group, I want to also add that OneAgent migration policy binding. And let's make sure our user indeed will receive that group and a permission. All right. And that's our group, right? Everything works here. Policy is bound. All right, so we are relogging. We are logging as Radoslaw Szulgo. And let's go again to the deployment status. Now, as you see, I'll be able to modify communication settings for that OneAgent. And again, what we need to do is to provide our inputs here. So environment ID, our token, and that's it. Let's do the test. Perfect. And let's continue and confirm. Right now, OneAgent is being migrated. What we'll be waiting for is the deployment status. Oh, that was very quick. That is indeed that host that appeared to be reporting. No data yet, but it's already connected to the SaaS environment. You see, it was very quick. Let's see on the dashboard. Classic. If we can see the data being reported, and indeed, host appeared. So not only the data appeared, but also we see that our management zone that was bound on the same monitored entity ID works. And we can even confirm by going to the host, and indeed we see that using this method, monitoring entity IDs persist the same. So therefore, your configuration that relies on those IDs is again the same, and can be easily imported. What I would probably do as well, if I would be a cluster administrator, I would enable my other users, my other application owners to also use the app and track the progress, modify configuration if they need to. And this can be done by just sharing that upgrade ID so they can open their SaaS Upgrade Assistant, put the upgrade ID to their app, and they would see exactly the same view, the same configuration without the need of exporting the configuration again, importing again. They could collaborate together and therefore parallel the migration of their services. Very good. Let's go back then. Dashboard again. Let's reset the management zones. We see all the data being reported correctly. We also see web applications also started to report correctly already. Besides that one that we've not yet restarted after the migration, but I can leave it. Afterwards, you see that this proves it works. What's also fantastic from that quick method, because it took me that short to migrate the whole entire configuration and OneAgents that I had, I have more time to innovate and to adopt new Grail features. So if I go to dashboards, I can upgrade also my dashboard. So I want to upgrade this one into new dashboard feature, and easily go step by step on migrating my dashboards. Here already few tiles can be one-to-one migrated. Some are still not yet to be visualized, but that will come soon. Here with this, you can start and accommodate, adjust, update, innovate on top. Yes, that's a demo I wanted to show to you. Let's go back to our presentation. I would like to leave you with 3 links, and all these links will be also available under the video, under the YouTube, in the description provided by Andy later on. But those 3 places that are important to know and to visit. First of all, the SaaS upgrade guide available from our docs page. Second thing, a readiness assessment. If you don't know if you can go to SaaS already, if you want to pitch that to your manager, use the assessment and you'll know if that's the right time to you or that's later, how to start and basically start your journey with SaaS Upgrade. And then third place is our beloved SaaS community forum, where you can leave feedback. You can learn from other practitioners that already went through the migration, leave the feedback, ask for questions, also have a self-service way to help yourself. That's all that I have prepared. With this, leaving you richer of the new knowledge and skills. I'll tell you that OneAgent migration will come in the version Dynatrace Managed 2.9.2. So pretty soon at the end of May, should be available to you. SaaS Upgrade Assistant is already there in your SaaS environments of AWS and Azure regions. With this, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.